How y'all doing today? Today, I hope everyone is just having a truly blessed day. Honestly, I just hope that's how everything's going for every one of us. And so today I read um, Job 8 and 9. And I got to tell you that in 8, Bildad is talking about how Job, you should have faith and you should believe and you should just let it go, and your children sinned, that's why they perished. God just brought it to them what they were doing. And basically he's saying, let's build this up and be positive and have faith that everything will be okay. And then in 9, Job responded and said, I have no faith. I have no motivation. I am sad. I have night terrors. Everything that I worked my whole life for is gone. And for something, there's something that I did as a blameless man. There's something that I must have done to deserve this from God. I fear God with everything I am. And so, as we dive into this, we learn exactly what Bildad says versus what Job says. And it's really interesting. So, please follow along. Thank you. And if you get a chance, like and subscribe, share this video, and thank you so much for your support. Okay, so how long will you say such things? Your words of blustering wind. Does God pervert justice? No, God does not. Does the Almighty pervert what is right? No, the Almighty does not. When your children sinned against him, he gave them over to the penalty of their sins. So that's what Bildad is saying. Your children made their choice. You didn't have to make the choice, your children did. But if you seek God and earnestly and plead with the Almighty, if you are pure and upright, even now he will rouse against himself on your behalf and restore you to your prosperous state. You got to believe, is what Bildad is saying. You got to believe that even in all this shame and ambush and anger and loss, if you believe, everything will restore. Just trust it. And that's pretty much what Bildad's saying, the whole thing here, you know. And Job responds, indeed, I know that this is true. I know that what you're saying is true. But how can I, mere mortal, prove to God my innocence? How can I do that? There is no way I can do that. Through wished to dispute, or though I wished to dispute him, they could not answer him one time out of 1,000. So really he's saying there's no way to reach God to be able to stand upright and say, please, please forgive me. And it says right here, Job says in Job 13:9-13, God does not restore or restrain his anger with me. He does not restrain from my punishment. So I must have done something to him. I must have. Though I were innocent, I could not answer him. I could only plead with my judge for mercy. And that's all Job was doing. Please just have mercy with me. Please, just you know, even if I summons him and he responded, I do not believe he would give me a hearing. So he believes that he honors God, he worships God, but he doesn't believe God listens and God is with him. He believes that he did something to hurt God and he doesn't want any more anger. And he goes through night terrors. I mean, he's got all kinds of things going on with him. I mean, this is a traumatic thing for him, and going through all this stuff, I can super relate to all this hopelessness of Job in 9 here. Because I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and just felt like There's no one there. No one's listening. No one can hear me. I'm hurting. I'm lost. I'm alone. I'm whatever. Having night terrors, having traumatic experiences, having all kinds of things going on. And it's easy to feel alone in that time. Yet it's faith. And that's what Bildad says. Just have faith that it'll be okay. And it's really, really, I understand what Bildad's saying, but I also understand where Job is because I felt that pain. I felt alone. I felt abandoned and lost and just out there all by myself. I felt that way. And truly, no one can understand that unless they feel it. There's just no way someone can just get it. I mean, you don't just get it. We have right now in our world, we have all these therapists who go to school to learn how to be a therapist. That doesn't make them a therapist. They they can't help anything out of a bag, much less someone who's hurting. They learn from a book. Oh, this must be this, and this must be that, and blah blah this and that, and they truly have no idea. And I'm trained in all of this stuff. I'm trained in motivational interviewing. I'm trained in dialectical behavior therapy. I'm trained in trauma informed care and traumatic responses, and I'm just trained in all of that. And I can tell you that I've also supervised many, many therapists in my career, and LADCs and all kinds of stuff. And I gotta say that if they've never really truly hurt, like Job, they would never ever get it. And I think that was my strength. They used to call me the client whisperer because I would bring to them, I could just read them. I knew where they were because I've been there. I truly have been there. And I'm not far from it. I'm not that far from it. And even though if I look at my life, I have tons to be grateful for. I mean, if you guys knew where I came from, I mean, I came from eating food out of dumpsters and stealing clothes off of clotheslines just to put clothes on me. And all the way to, I don't worry about where my next meal comes from today. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. And I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning about it's I'm so grateful to not be where I was this long ago, 3 years ago, let's say. And I'm so grateful that I'm not there, but I never really acknowledged that. And that's true. We tend to forget where we come from. We all just tend to forget and focus on the prize. What do we want? What's our goal? Where do we want to be from here? And the truth is, let's just slow it down and be grateful. I mean, look at all the miracles God has worked in your life today and mine. I mean, I have the sun shining, the birds going crazy out here, and it's beautiful. The weather is beautiful in Minnesota, and I'm super happy in life. I'm super, super grateful. And with that being said, I'm not that far away from being depressed and down and all that. A couple videos ago, I did one on my grandpa, which triggered a whole bunch of trauma within me, because I shared it and I try to share everything in a positive light. And my life has not been peaches and cream, it's not been positive. I have had more pain and more hurt and more anguish than many people I know. And that doesn't mean that my story is worse than anyone else's or better than anyone else's. It just means that I get it. We all hurt. We all hurt together, and we all recover together, and we all find God together, and we all welcoming the Holy Spirit together. And this is all for us. And it's just up to us to just ask and take it and do and believe. And that's the hard part. Believing when everything kicks you, when life kicks you every corner, everywhere you are, it just kicks you, kicks you, kicks you. And there you are, getting kicked and feeling it. At the same time, all you have to do is believe that it's done. You're done with that, and it surely it'll happen. You got to believe. The size of a mustard seed per Jesus, and that's the struggle. Because how many of us believe that much? I mean, that seems like a whole lot, but I can tell you through personal experience, I am 58, and life is a blink. It's a shadow. I remember being young, thinking, huh, I got eternity here. I got a whole life in front of me. And the truth is, life can change in an instant and it could be taken away fast as you can believe. I mean, just snap of a finger, everything. And don't for a second think that Satan's not trying to navigate his way into your life and take you away from God, because that's what Satan does. And with that being said, I truly pray for all of you guys that you are blessed and keep Satan at bay and just do what you need to do to believe. Find Jesus. Jesus died to save us. He was only 31 years old and he taught us so much in that short time. There's no denying that he was God or a descendant of God, like we all are, but he was just chosen different. He was wise beyond his years, and I think that we all have to just stand together strong and just say no more, no more. We got all of these bad everywhere, just bad, and they're not even bashful about how they're hating on people and how they destroy people's lives and they do all this stuff to people. And we're here picking up the pieces. We're the ones living day to day. So, with that being said, welcome to my channel. This is a spiritual guide with Dave, and I appreciate everything you guys do and support me in every way. And I want to be here to support every one of you guys. So, comment below any questions you might have. If Job resonates with you, I would highly recommend reading this book because I can relate to it so much, so much. Matthew is my favorite book so far in the Bible. That's the truth. Job is quickly becoming my second because I can relate to Job more than you know. And just because life is about loss, there's always hope. If you're upright and you're breathing and you can see outside, there's hope. Believe it. So, again, like this channel, support this channel, subscribe, and I appreciate everything you guys do. Comment below anything you guys have, concerns, whatever. I appreciate everyone. I will respond to every single comment, I promise. And it's just me sitting here in my office at my house doing this. I read the Bible every day. I love you guys. And I truly, truly appreciate you guys. And we'll talk to you guys on the next one. You guys have a blessed day.